Hello everybody, I'm Peter the Book Lover, and I'm welcoming you to my video. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different than I normally do. I usually do book reviews and movie reviews, but this video I'm going to give you 18 tips to improve your reading skills. Let's talk about these tips. Hello everybody, I'm Peter the Book Lover. I have a YouTube channel to where I talk about books and movies, and I have a great time doing it. Hopefully you'll have a good time as well. And this video is going to be 18 tips to improve your reading skills. Now, I'm going to first tell you how I came about this video. So I was watching a video with Michael K. Vaughan that he was saying, do physical books improve your reading? And what this was kind of a discussion between the difference between ebooks and physical books. At the end of the video, he says it's pretty much the same thing. And me, myself, when it comes to that, I really don't know because I do not have an e-reader. So I've never experienced reading a book on an e-reader. But one thing I would like to ask the people that have e-readers, and I'm curious about, is when you're reading these books and you come across a word that you're not familiar with, can you click on that word and will it give you the definition of that word? The pronunciation of that word? Or is there a way that you could hit a button and it will be like an audio book as you read along? You know, if it has those features in it, I think I would be really interested in getting an ebook. But Michael K. Vaughan had this video. Here's Michael K. Vaughan. But he got the idea from watching this video by Randy Ray. And Randy Ray had a video to where he talked about 10 tips to improve your reading. And I actually added a few more to this list because I had some different ideas than him. But he had a really good list. So I'm going to cover all his tips, but I'm going to give you a couple more. So let's get into this. But before I get into the video, I want to thank my audience for being here. I think it's really cool that you're giving me your time, and I want to thank you very much for that. Okay, so let's get into it. The first one I want to talk about is the first tip he talked about, and that is rereading books. And I completely agree with this tip. The thing about it is that reading a book one time is a wonderful experience, but every now and then, reading a book a second time, it's kind of essential because sometimes you don't really understand things the first time you read it. There's certain things you wouldn't notice that you will notice the second time, so I definitely recommend it. One thing that he mentioned was the book, The Great Gatsby. And the thing about it is, I've read that book twice. Now, I'm glad that I read it twice because I read it one time and I was a little disappointed in that book. I literally thought that was an overrated book. So I was like, I really wasn't excited about reading it again. But then I said, I'm going to give it another shot. It turns out it's a fantastic book and I plan on reading that many more times in the future. Now, the book that I would say that really makes a difference of reading it the second time opposed to reading it once is I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. That book is a great book, and I enjoyed it the first time. And I knew that I was going to reread it again because I enjoyed it very much when I first read it. It's an awesome book, very enjoyable. But the thing about it is, the first time I read this book, I didn't really think about something that I thought about the second time. And it's kind of like I didn't see something that I saw the second time. And I really think that that happens sometimes when you read a book the second time. So I definitely recommend reading books the second time. Now, there is the book Wuthering Heights by Emily Brontë. I actually plan on reading that again, and I feel that that book is definitely a book that should be experienced twice because there's certain things you really don't know what's going on in that book. And I have a feeling when I read it the second time, there's going to be a lot of things that I will see that I didn't see the first time. So, like I said again, the first tip, rereading books, is a fantastic tip, and I highly recommend that. Okay, the second tip is make reading a priority. And yeah, that is a wonderful idea. The thing about it is prioritizing your reading over YouTube videos by, you know, I suggest watching YouTube videos, but at the same time, you got to pick times to read books over watching TikTok and stuff like that. There's a lot more you're going to get out of reading books than you're going to get out of just watching TV. So I highly recommend prioritizing reading opposed to watching TV because you could definitely get a lot more out of books. But like I said, it's your time. You could do what you like. But I actually agree with this tip very much. Okay, now the third thing that it has is be willing to let a book change your life. Now, I've read about 1,000 books in my life, maybe more, maybe less. But one thing that I've noticed that I've yet to run across a book that really will change my life. Now, I have read some books that kind of made me think about things and implement a couple things in my life. Like I've read this book called Verbal Judo, and that was a really interesting book. And one of the things it taught me was not to lose your cool when you're talking to people and not get angry, and you'll be a lot better off by doing it. And that really has worked. But the thing about it is I would love to have that happen to me, but I've yet to experience that. Nothing has really changed me as a person from reading a book about it. Although some books have stuck with me for a very long time. But as far as changing my life, I wouldn't say it changed my life, but that's something that I do agree with. If they can change your life for the better, that would be awesome. Okay, the fourth thing is think about the books you have already read. And the thing about it is, that's a great tip, but the thing about it is, after you read enough, you're going to do that automatically. There's going to be times when you read a book and you're going to come across something and it's going to be similar to another book. And sometimes it's going to be like on the tip of your tongue. You're going to be like, wait a minute, I've read something like this before. And it takes you a minute to figure it out. But that happens automatically. But yes, I also, a suggestion that I have that I do that maybe you want to follow, maybe not. But I actually have a book diary. I keep track of all the books that I've read. I literally write down the date that I've read it, that I finished it. I never write down the date that I started. I always write down the date that I finished it. And it's been a great thing for me to look back on the books that I've already read and keep track of it. Because you kind of forget which books you've read, because if you've read a lot of them like I have. But that is a great tip, and I think you should follow that. A book diary is a great tool to have on remembering the books that you've read, if you've read a lot. So I highly recommend that. Then the fifth thing is read old books. Now, the thing about it is, I follow that very much. I really love old books a lot. I love the books from the 1800s. They're fantastic. But I actually got to flip that over and say, read new books, because I have a tendency of not reading too many new books, and I want to make an effort to read more new books. But old books, I highly follow that. That's another rule that I recommend. Reading old books is a great time. A lot of them are really great. Some of them are a little bit more difficult than reading the new books today, because the vocabulary is a little bit different. And there's some words that aren't really used anymore that you might have to think about, So, but yeah, old books are fantastic, and I think that you should do that. That's tip 5 is great. Okay, so let's go into tip number 6. And that is buy a lot of books. Now, lately I haven't been in the financial position to buy a lot of books right now. But I do collect a lot of books because I go to book boxes and I get books there. But yes, having a good book collection will definitely help your reading skills, because you have a lot of books to read. Although I highly recommend you not buy too many books. make sure that you're only buying or collecting the books that you plan on reading. You really want to avoid kind of like consuming books, accumulating books that you're not going to read in the future. I think it's a good idea to try to stick with just the books you plan on reading. But yeah, buying a lot of books or collecting a lot of books, I do recommend that. Okay, the next thing is having a reading routine. Now, the thing about it is, I'd love to have that, but the thing about it is, if you have roommates, things can get in your way. I try to have a reading routine, but it would always get broken. And if I had like a steady reading routine, like I read it at a certain hour of the day, I just couldn't follow it most of the time because I'm always getting set on errands. A lot of times I got to go pick up medicine for my roommate. I've got a lot of time to do grocery shopping, and or there's times to where I'll feel sick, so I won't be able to follow the routine. Or at the same time, I'll drink the night before, and then I'll be hungover, and that throws a monkey wrench in the reading routine. So the thing about it is, I don't do that. My thing though is if you have this routine, by me not following a routine, that makes me keep on doing it, because there'll be times where I'll miss out reading for a little bit of time, but then I can always go back to it. And the thing about it, it's a little bit harder if you have a routine and that gets broken up, then you get a little bit discouraged. So that's a give it or take, I prefer not to have a strict reading routine, but at the same time, I do try to read at specific times of the days, but it gets broken up quite a bit. Okay, yeah, and that would be really hard if you have children. Children would really, really mess you up on that, Okay, so the next thing I'm going to go over is rule number 8, or tip number 8, and that's going to be appreciate books. And I really do follow that very much. I appreciate all my books. I take care of my books very much. I try to keep them in the best condition, and I do give my books love. I try to take care of them. I don't appreciate them enough to put them in order. If you go through my books, they are definitely way out of order, but at the same time, I do take care of them. They're all in the same condition I got them in. I really, some of them get a little bit of damage because you can't help it. You make mistakes, spill water on them and stuff like that. But I really do appreciate my books very much, and that is a good tip. Okay, number 9 is improve your vocabulary. And I agree with that very much. So there are a couple things that I would like to add to that, because I do, just saying improve your vocabulary, there's a couple ways that I have to improve your vocabulary, is to Google words to pronounce them. That is a big help. Using Google to pronounce words is a big help. Always having a dictionary I have a dictionary really close by if I really ever need it, and I look up a lot of words that I'm unfamiliar with. Another thing that I do quite a bit is practice spelling. I'm still not great at it, but I really don't call myself a bad speller anymore. But I am a speller that needs more work. And you'll be surprised of doing it for a long time. It's still hard to be great at spelling, but I do make an effort to be a better speller, and that really helps a lot. Also using Siri, that actually helps a lot with pronouncing words. Like a lot of times I will ask it to spell a word to make sure that I'm reading whatever word correctly. So those tools are big helps in that. But yes, working on your vocabulary is a great idea. Okay, now number 10 is go down rabbit holes. Now, reading Alice in Wonderland is wonderful, but that's not what they're talking about here. They're talking about reading a bunch of new different types of book and like really getting into it and reading a lot of romance novels before you judge it. So, and I don't think I'm ever going to really do that because romance novels are not the best. But I do try to, I recently read Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and I kind of went down the rabbit hole and spent a long period of time of reading 5 books in a row, and that was a little bit consuming. But yeah, it's a pretty good idea to venture into book series a little bit deeply, and just don't read 1 or 2 books in a series. Read as many as you can. Try to finish the series if you can. Now, one rabbit hole that I would suggest very much is going down the rabbit hole of nonfiction. History books are wonderful, and there's a lot of wonderful information in a lot of history books, and I highly recommend that you spend a lot of time with history books. They're something that should not be ignored. I think they're definitely a great tool, and they will help your reading skills a lot. Okay, so let's get into number 11. Now, this was his bonus tip, but this is mark your books. And the thing about it is that, like I said, appreciate your books. I really appreciate my books, so I do not write in any of my books. I even have some books that are annotated already, and I do not annotate, even though as I'm reading these books that have been, a lot of stuff has been written in it, and I come up with things that I would put in there instead. I still don't want to write in it, because I kind of like, I'd much rather have a sheet of paper and take my notes on a separate sheet of paper than writing in my books. For some reason, I really don't like doing that. And also, I never dog-ear my books. I never fold the page. I did when I was younger, but I don't do that anymore. I use bookmarkers, and I never like fold the page over or do any of that. So I have to I don't suggest that. Mark your books is not for me, but hey, I heard a lot of people say that this really helps them to write in a lot of books and underline phrases and things in the book, and that really helps them a lot. And it might, but I don't think I'm ever going to do that, because I really appreciate my books very much, so I really don't want to do that. Okay, now we're going to go into some of my own tips that he didn't suggest. Now, the first one, 12, is read books based on movies. Those are going to really help you with your reading skills very much, because you're going to already know what's there, and it's going to be a clearer picture, and your comprehension will be a lot better, opposed to reading something that you're not familiar with. So already being familiar with the movie is definitely a good idea to go read a book on that. And a lot of times you'll be surprised that it's watching for the differences. Like Rambo. Rambo was a book first. Rambo First Blood was a book that came before the movie. And it's different, and it's very interesting. And James Bond novels are a little bit different than the movies. So I highly suggest to read books based on movies. It definitely will help your reading skills. Number 13 is what I believe, reading books below your level, meaning reading children's books. Even though you're an adult, reading books that are simple for you to read are definitely good practice for you. Of course, read books that are above your skill level, but do not sway away from children's books and young adult books, because some of them are incredible. Reading Roald Dahl books, even if you're an adult, if you have not read these books before, you're going to be really impressed with them. Reading the Narnia Chronicles, the books of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, definitely, you could read those as an adult. If you have never read those, you're going to love them. Harry Potter was a fantastic read for me, and I really enjoyed that a lot. So, number 13, read books below your level. So, read a children's book every now and then. It will help your reading skill quite a bit, because you'll really enjoy it, and it's really, really simple. Now, I kind of went out of order, so we got number 14 is going to be watch book explanations. And that means that after you read a book, you type it on YouTube and watch a YouTube video like Middlemarch. If you've read Middlemarch, say Middlemarch Explained, and watch a video, and that will help a lot. I recently read Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. And the thing about it is, I really didn't understand that book when I first read it, but by watching the explanation and then reading it again, it really helped a lot. So book explanations can really help you out, make the book more clear in your head, and you'll know what's going on. And certain things you didn't understand, you'll be able to understand when you watch those. So, and they're definitely help. And they're on YouTube. There's most books that you read and you ask for a book explanation, they have most of them on YouTube. So I highly recommend that. Okay, and this is number 15. Read in a place that has few distractions, if not any distractions. You're really not going to understand things very clearly if you've got things distracting you. That's why I say if you have children, it's really hard to be a reader if you have children, because the children will constantly pull you away from the books. And then as you're getting pulled away so many times, you really are not getting what you're reading. So if you can, now, like I say, I suggest this, but a lot of people can't. Their lifestyle does not permit it. But if you could find a place that has few distractions or no distractions, that's ultimate. Going to the library is a good idea, to go over there and read a couple books. That way nobody's going to bother you. Okay, and this is number 16. This is to listen to audiobooks as you read along with them. And this will really help you a lot. I have been doing this for quite a while, and this really helps immensely with a lot of the books that I'm reading, especially when there's a lot of foreign language. And you really start building up a really good, strong vocabulary when you listen to an audiobook as you read along. I'm not just talking about listening to an audiobook. I'm talking about listening to an audiobook as you have the book and you're reading along with it. And then you're going to learn a lot of words when you do that. And it's a good practice that I do all the time. I don't do it with every book, but there's a lot of books that I do this with, and it really helps a lot. So that's number 16. Okay, and the next thing, this is going to be 17, and that is read out loud. Now, the thing about it is, if you're watching children, reading stories to children is a wonderful idea. And I've been doing this for a while. I pretty much every time when I read a book, I read every word out loud. And that really has helped me a lot in my reading skill. My reading skill has improved very much from doing that. And it's difficult. Like when you first start doing it, it is really, really hard, and you get stuck a lot of times. But as you go on, there's a lot of words that start becoming clear to you, and your reading comprehension improves very much by reading out loud. Go in a room by yourself, shut the door, and read out loud. Of course, you can't do it on a bus, and you can't do it at the library. You don't want to do it around people, but if you can, reading books out loud really improve your reading skills. I highly recommend it. Okay, and the last tip is something that maybe this isn't for you, but if you really want to improve your reading skills, this helped me a lot. And this is free. Start a YouTube channel. That's the thing about it is, a YouTube channel does not cost you anything to start. It's absolutely free, and you could post as many videos as you want. And the thing about it is, if you make videos and nobody watches them, you can continue posting videos. You don't have to be successful to have a YouTube channel. And the thing about it is, see, I still make videos that really don't get a lot of viewers on it, but that doesn't matter, because the reason why I'm doing this, the main reason that I'm doing it, I mean, there's other reasons too. I want viewers and I want people to watch, but the main reason I'm doing it is because it will inspire me to be a better reader. And that's the whole reason why I started a booktube channel. But then I added movies as well. But actually, by doing the movies, I'm learning about the movie stars, and I'm connecting movie stars by doing the movies as well. So having a booktube channel or a YouTube channel will really help you read a lot more, because you're going to need content, and it will get you to read more books. Although it can be a little discouraging if you're not really successful, but at the same time, I'm not really successful, and I really like doing this, and I'm enjoying doing it, even though it's not like this popular thing. But I wish it was more popular, but hey, it's fine. It's free, and I do recommend it. But then again, if that's not your thing, if you're shy or something, then don't do that. But okay, so that's it. That's my 18 tips to improve your reading skills, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please do me a favor, hit the like button. Let me know that you enjoyed the video. It means a lot to me. And if you can, let me know if you have any other reading tips that I've left out. Please leave them in the comments. Or if you agree or disagree, please let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you've subscribed to my channel and you're enjoying my videos, I'm very happy that's happening. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I make videos all the time, 2 videos a week, and I have a good time doing it. Hopefully you're having a good time as well. And that's about it. I am Peter the Book Lover. I want to thank you for coming by, and I hope to see you in the next video.